Hi, hello, everybody. How are you doing? How are you feeling? Hope everybody's doing well, feeling well. Sorry for the late start. It was a couple of different things. Travion Marco CT in the hunt with a tier 1 subscriber 43 month. Thank you so much. Sonic Nicholas, Mr. Roche, AGM. What's going on? Wordy. I hope everybody's doing all right. I hope you're feeling good. Yeah, it's a Mountain Dew. It's my green shirt. It's a I don't have any green shirts. I gotta get more shirts. I gotta get more t-shirts. I play Ghosts and Goblins. Yeah, I can't stand that game. It's so it's Ghosts and Goblins. I have such a weird relationship with Ghosts and Goblins because I Ghosts and Goblins is a franchise that I think should be a good franchise, and very regularly it's either just okay, or I feel like Ghosts and Goblins also has kind of gone to the wayside. I feel like not many people really have actually played some of those games. But like the Ghosts and Goblins on NES, for instance, is terrible. I it's so frustrating. Not to mention that that's one of those franchises that it's basically most versions of Ghosts and Goblins are just like reiterations of the first game. Like every version of Ghosts and Goblins seems to be the same thing. Arthur and the princess are there. A devil shows up and kidnaps the princess, and then they go, and it's just the same thing over and over again. Like there's nothing different about Ghosts and Goblins, and Ghosts and Goblins should be a lot more. Afternoon. Let me go through some of these. I read Sick Games. So I know you're talking about the indie game Elden Ring. Indie game. Can I share that I'm enjoying my time with Thousand Year Door on the Switch? My dad took me to New York a while back, and I got Thousand Year Door there. See, you also have a Sonic. That's great that you're enjoying the game. You also have a very fond memory of that. Not gonna stick around long. Feeling eepy. I know I started to doze off on the couch a little bit. Also, is it too much to ask Nintendo to put a translation for games from Japan for at least the controls and the in-game explanation? So I'm kind of, I have an interesting, I don't know if it's interesting, but I have a sort of back and forth take on that, which I guess is not uncommon. Mom's was so used to your stream, she was like, when does he start? Fridays, hi AGM's mom. Fridays, I usually start between 2 and 4. Normally, we start at 2 o'clock Eastern time. Fridays, we used to do a talk show where I started at 4. So I still kind of half cape that. I don't really do the talk show thing anymore because we do just chatting. But Fridays will either be a 2 o'clock stream if I plan on doing a lot of stuff, or a 4 o'clock stream if I have other things to do. I have to parse out my time because I stream 5 days a week, so I stream 5 days a week and I work. So plus I have to do other stuff too. It's not too bad. Stuff is kind of stressed. We also had an appointment today, which always adds to that. But I'm doing my best. That's the best we can do. The best we can do is the best we can do is the best we can do. You know. But yeah, I hope everybody's, I hope you got some fun plans for the weekend or something. Today's kind of weird because it was supposed to be raining all day, and then it's like it's off and on rain, and then it shouldn't be raining for the stream, which I'm not too concerned about rain. It's also supposed to be thunder and lightning. So that's kind of that's what I'm worried about. I don't like having my computer on when there's lightning outside. So if it gets the lightning, of course my father's calling me now. If it gets the lightning, then we'll have to cancel, or we'll call it short. What's my take? For the Starfy thing. My take for the Starfy thing for like the translation of games. I'm happy to at least have games, and I think that there are some games that I've been saying for years, and I think a lot of people have been saying for years, even if we don't get a translation, we just want some of these games. I think there are games like Starfy, for instance, that you can play just fine. I would imagine there's no problem playing Starfy, even though you don't know the story. So I think that there's a lot of these games because translating a game takes effort. It takes time, it takes programming, it's work that has to go into it, and that's a lot of work that you're asking for to go to a free app, for games to show up on the NSO app. Because if they charged you $20 per game for these, we would say, wow, these are $20 per game, these should be on the NSO app. If you want them on the NSO app, then they're free. Then you're going to get the most basic version of them. So I don't mind some games that they just say we're just going to put them over there. Shoot 'em ups, right? If there are Japanese shoot 'em ups that like Rekka, Summer Carnival '92, the game, the shooter game Rekka. If that shows up, I don't need a translation for that. I don't need a translation for a shoot 'em up, for a run and gun platformer. If a not Ranger X, that was Genesis. I think there was a sidearms game that was not sidearms, Spriggan. Spriggan Powered, I think, was a Japanese only run and gun game. If that comes out and it's not translated, that's fine. I'm okay with that. It would be nice if it was translated. It'd be nice to have an actual translated version. But if it's showing up on the app for free, then I'm fine with it. That being said, we have at least one game where they did that. We had at least one game where it's that stupid game that I can't stand, Diva Story 6. They didn't translate the game, but they did modify the game in some way to make it more simple to play. But they didn't translate the whole game. We've had multiple. No. What I mean is that we had a game where they modified it in some way so that we would be able to understand it a little bit better. But they didn't translate all of Diva Story 6. But they did modify the game in some way to make it. They basically added a way to just get right into the game, so you don't have to worry about building. Because I think Diva Story is like you build little toy mechs or something. I don't know exactly what it is, but they have modified games to do that. I would like if they did something, but I still say there are plenty of games that we think, man, it would be nice if we just had it to play. RPGs, you can't do that with. You can't just put the ROM for Bahamut Lagoon. Because the one that I thought of immediately, the immediate one that I thought of was Mother 3. It's like, man, you could just put these ROMs and not translate them. But you can't really put Mother 3 and not translate it. But there are some games that you can. The Starfy games probably work well. Are there any Japan exclusive Kirby games? Are there platformer games? Castlevania. You mentioned Rondo of Blood. I don't need a translation of Rondo of Blood in order for me to play that game. So if that game were Japan only right now, which it's not right now, Rondo doesn't really count anymore, but back in the day when it was, if you would have released a Japanese language version of that game, people would have been happy just to play it. And I feel like that's where we are with Starfy. Sure, it'd be nicer if we had a translated version as opposed to a regular version, but without it, we can still play Starfy, which is wild because we only got one Starfy game. you got to understand, I don't know what the UK market was like. For the American market, we got the legendary Starfy on the DS, and I don't think we ever got another one. So the fact that there are 3 of these games on, like, by the time it got to the DS, there were 3 Game Boy Advance games. We've never seen those. So this is all brand new for us. Let me go back up. I never got a chance to get Thousand Year Door on GameCube. I was glad to get it on Switch when I went to the Nintendo store in New York in June. That's how fair. It would be nice, but I appreciate them popping up at all. NSO is such a cheaply run service that expecting translations for these old simple games is funny to me. Would it be nice? Yeah, it'd be nice, but I don't expect it. If they were going to make the effort to translate the game, they'd probably just sell them as a collection. Absolutely. And then everybody would complain that the collection was too expensive. We have a GBA app. Why are they selling us GBA games? Yeah, RPGs. Yeah, you RPGs. No, you can't do that with RPGs. You need a translation. I just want to know what the buttons do. FE NES was also an exception because they had a script done for the NES, but they didn't release it in the US. Isn't that true for Mother 3 also? Isn't there actually a translation for Mother 3, like an official one? Post PS1 Castlevania games would need a translation. The post PS1, no, I think they're all out already at this point, right? I don't think there are no Japan exclusive Castlevania games anymore, right? I don't think there ever were, actually, other than Rondo. Yeah, we got the last Starfy. How much work would it have been to translate those Starfy games, though? I don't know, but remember, you can't just translate them. You have to actually code the game to do that. You have to actually reprogram the game to have a translation in it. Sure, it's probably not the dramatic undertaking for a Nintendo as it would be for an indie developer, but it's still more work than they're willing to put into, and it's still more work than most people would actually need if it means they get to play the games at all. Starfy's about as simple as a Kirby game. Oh, Mother 3 was never officially translated. Mother 3 has a fan translation, but no official one. Mother 1 had an official translation ready. There we go. That's the one. I knew there was a Mother game that was like, there's an English version of this game out there. Like, the legend was that there was an English version out there. It was Mother 1. Earthbound Beginnings, as we know it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how much it would have taken to make translations of those games, but it would have taken more effort than just releasing them on the app. And for a lot of people, that's all they really care about. If you were so hardcore, I'm gonna take you back. I'm gonna take you back here. All right, for you younger gamers. If you are so hardcore about needing to know the lore of Starfy, I would imagine you can probably go to GameFAQs and download a translation of all the screens, and you can do it like we used to back in the day, which is we would sit there with the Japanese copy of the game and we would play it, and we would have a translation, and the translation would very lightly describe when you should be seeing what screen, and we had a translation for what was going on in the game. Go old school. They're probably and there's probably English patches. Well, English patches, but that's a modern thing, right? That's a thing where if you have an English patch for those games, you don't need these ROMs anyway. You know what I mean? Because in order to have an English patch, you would have to download an emulated version of the game, and then you'd patch it, and you'd have an English version. So that makes these irrelevant anyway. But back in the day, we didn't have all of that. We bought a Japanese copy of the game, and we went to GameFAQs, and we downloaded a translation of everything, and we sat there and we read it. And that was how we sort of understood what was going on in Radiant Silvergun and some of the other shoot 'em ups. That's how we sort of understood what was happening in beat 'em ups and fighting games. Fighting games, you know, what little we needed to know about a fighting game, that's how we found out about it. Mother One also skipped the US because it was supposed to be a 2-ish year dev cycle in Japan alone. Because Itoi and stuff really underestimated how hard the game dev was. It took over 6 years, and the NES was already on its way out. That's fine then. So we dodged that bullet. Is what you're saying. Or you just learn rudimentary hiragana and katakana and play through the game. I did that with Japanese Pokemon Heart Gold. Do you need katakana in order to play it? I feel like everything would be in hiragana anyway. Yeah, because Japanese video games, like especially retro video games, did they use a lot of kanji? Or was it just all in hiragana? What's this? I thought that was an ad. I was so excited for the game, I begged my dad to import it. I played Final Fantasy IX when that first came out in Japan. I played all of Disc 1 in Japanese. I had no idea what was going on. But what the game does is it highlights where you would need to go. Like, you'd be reading the text, and it said, oh, you have to go to town in order to get something. And then town would be, like, written in blue. So I would write it down. And I would write down what I saw. And then when I would just explore the map. And I would go to different places. And when I saw different things, I would, like, oh, there it is. There's the town. Can you hold on a minute? Sorry about that. Pop calls. He knows I'm streaming, so he usually doesn't call again, but when he calls twice in a row, that's usually where I pick up. I think it took like 8 weeks to ship. Yeah, I worked at a game store, and we sold import games every once in a while, so we would order import games for other people, and we would also order them for ourselves. Oh, what games in Japanese did I play like that? Found a copy of Kid Icarus Uprising Japanese for cheap. Games that I played in Japanese, I mean, I played a ton of import, like, Saturn games. I played some Super Famicom games. For the most part, most of the games that I played were so-so. I played a Super Famicom JoJo game, but that was sort of a weird I thought it was a fighter. I thought it was going to be a fighter, but it ended up being like a whole bunch of weird things. But I just played it. I just sort of like sussed it out and figured out what I needed to go through. Yeah, most of it was like shoot 'em ups, beat 'em ups, fighting games, a ton of fighting games. There was a Japanese RPG called Terra Fantastica that some years back was supposed to get a translation. I would love to actually play through a copy of that game, like translated. But I think I played most of Terra Fantastica, if not the whole thing. Were there other? I'm looking over here, games like on PS1 there was like Gunner's Heaven, which was like a discount Gunstar Heroes. But it was really good. I played a little bit of it on stream or on YouTube once or twice. That's a fun game. I thought that was a pretty cool game, but I have no idea what's going on in that game. Ready for the embarrassing funny part? Mother One dev. It took 6 years to finish the game, and Nintendo sent Iwata to fix the project, and he rebuilt the game with the team using the assets in a year. But even then, the final area of Mother One wasn't balanced at all. I mean, that's, to be honest, though, Gold, balancing in retro games seems to have been a problem back then, right? Because Mother One, the things that I've heard about Mother One are that the whole game is kind of unbalanced in certain ways. Final Fantasy 1 had some balancing issues to an extent. Dragon Quest 2 isn't like every version of Dragon Quest 2 still busted. You have the problems with Final Fantasy 3. You know, I think it was, what is it, the Crystal Tower, where like it seems like you had these weird sort of balancing issues. Like it was almost like there were growing pains in how hard a video game should be early on, which just makes perfect sense. One game I had to play like that was Naruto Clash of Ninja 4, which technically never came to North America, and had to play all the missions with the game fact to understand it and unlock the characters. Yeah, there's also a JoJo RPG. I think that's what I played. I wasn't really sure. I played the first Symphony of the Night with my friend's import copy, and we routinely played his import copy of Samurai Shodown 4. I've also played, like, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I played the Japanese version of that because but I already knew what was going on in that game. Didn't play a lot of untranslated games, but that was because my budget for games was already tiny. What I'm going to do is download a ROM of Kid Icarus Uprising and play it now that I legally have a Japanese copy. It's more like Mother 1 is manageable until you get to the final area, and then the enemies there one-shot you. Which was isn't that the whole Final Fantasy 3 problem, is that the end of the game is all busted? And Dragon Quest 2, wasn't that the same thing? Mother 1 was actually bugged. The OG release had some accidentally set the difficulty to the wrong place. Oh, making the game much harder than intended. Crystal Tower in Final Fantasy 3 is the final dungeon, and in terms of power, the boss before was like level 34, and the first boss of Crystal Tower is level 55. Yeah, it's so there were a lot of weird problems like that, which doesn't excuse them. Just because they're common problems doesn't mean that they're okay problems. It sucks that they're there, but it was kind of interesting. The enemies in the tower are easy. Just the bosses, and then Cloud of Darkness is even harder. I mean, even then, you look at some games. We talked about we talked the other day about like difficulty in games and why are some games praised for difficulty and others are hated. You go back and you look at NES games, and NES games were notorious for that, and they were notorious for being difficult for different reasons. The controls didn't work, or the difficulty just scaled badly. And you didn't understand it, but we all just kind of accepted it. And now we look at it, and we go back and we look at Crystal Tower, or we look at Battletoads, right? We look at the hover car bike scene stage from Battletoads, and we say, "Wow, that was massively unbalanced for the rest of the game." It wasn't just, man, this game, I must have to, and we got good. Like back then we had to get good because we didn't have a choice. But now we do look at it and we say, yeah, I mean, you get good, but it is a little unbalanced. I'm pretty sure Battletoads was designed to piss you off. Didn't they fix the Crystal Tower in the Pixel remasters? And probably the 3D remake. I've beaten three times, and each time I was like, this is so fun, and the Crystal Tower sucks. Yeah, NES games are cryptic. If you have the Switch PS4 version, you can use the 4 times XP boost to grind. Oh, they didn't technically fix the Crystal Tower then. Those games were never good. You only got used to them. That's how it works. And it is true. It is true. No, Battletoads, I think Battletoads was bad for the wrong reason. Battletoads was making a reference back to the Sonic stuff. Battletoads was very similar to that, where people talk about, oh yeah, Battletoads was great, but it was really hard and it was unbalanced. No, Battletoads was kind of bad because the controls kind of sucked in that game. I personally think that the controls I don't think that they were the worst controls ever, but I do think that for the NES game, I do think that the controls are kind of bad, and that wasn't really that's not good difficulty. We don't look at a game's difficulty and we say, yeah, that game is a challenge because the controls weren't responsive. Like, we don't look at that and think that's a good game. I play Battletoads and think, wow, people liked this. No, they just have strong memories of it. Final Fantasy 3, you less got good and just used Ninja and Sage to break the game. That's a Dark Souls on difficulty spikes, having game over and over again. It says they fixed the Crystal Tower more. You couldn't save in the tower. Yeah, but the Pixel version gives you a save slot. Not to mention the Pixel version is on modern consoles where you could probably just turn the system off and store your positioning. Sean, thank you so much. In the Hunt with a tier 1 subscribe for 80 months. Thank you so much. You've been streaming for 81-ish months. That is all. Message deleted by moderator. Thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate that, though. And thank you earlier, CT, for the same. This too, also speed function and auto battle help with grinding. I think like that with the first Streets of Rage. Extremely stiff control. Yeah, like there's a reason, Henry. There's a reason the famous one is Streets of Rage 2. There's a reason the popular one is Street Fighter 2. You know, there should have been a reason Sonic Adventure 2 was the... There's a reason for that. Because you had the first one, you were figuring it out. Mega Man 2. I question, yeah, I think that the irony is when you think about it, there's probably a lot of games early on where the second one is the more popular one. Sonic 2. Mario 2, not so much. Mario 3, because Mario 2 was kind of different. Like, the actual Mario 2 wasn't really enough of a change, and in the Mario 2 that we got was a little bit too much of a change. Zelda 2 was kind of the same thing. For those instances, you look at Mario 3 and Zelda 3. DKC 2. DKC 2, yeah. Final Fantasy 2, not for us, because our Final Fantasy 2 is 4. Did you know? Did you know gaming? Yeah, but that's interesting. There are a lot of those, but yeah, like Sonic 2 and if they, as long as they, not exactly the second game, but the second attempt at what they did in the first game. Let's call it that. Castlevania 2, no, but Castlevania 3, absolutely. Mario 2, no. Zelda 2, no, but Zelda 3 and Mario 3, Metroid 3, they were incredible games because rather than try and change what they did in the first one, or change what they did in the first one, they did the first one but better. All of the ones that did the first one but better are the more popular ones. Sonic 2 did Sonic 1 but better. And now it's the most popular one, Street Fighter 2, Streets of Rage 2. They were the games that took what they had before, refined the formula, and gave you another game. The reason it's not Mario 2 and Zelda 2 is and even Metroid 2 is because they changed them too much. Resi 2, Resident Evil 2. I think Resident Evil 2 is more popular than 1. Kirby 2. Yeah, Kirby's Dream Land 2. I think is better than 1. Absolutely. Dark Souls 2. Fatal Fury 2. I don't know. Fatal Fury 2 is definitely better than 1, but I didn't really care about Fatal Fury until like Real Bout. So like I thought Real Bout was dramatically better. King of Fighters. I didn't like King of Fighters 94, but I thought 95 was okay. Although I didn't really King of Fighters is another one I didn't really care about until 97. I went back and played 96. I was okay with it, but I didn't really care about King of Fighters until 97. Mega Man 2. Kingdom Hearts 2. I've heard people say that Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best of them. Yeah, if you go a little bit more modern. Technically, Kirby's 2 was what set Kirby from other platformers. I'd even say it. I'd even say then. Also, even then, I'd say often less we got good and more we made it through and justified the struggle to others, so it didn't seem like a waste of time. A little bit, yeah. I used to brag I was good. Now I'm like, this is terrible. That's called copium. I'd also say God of War 2. Ooh, God of War 2 is the best of the trilogy of the original trilogy of the OG trilogy. Yeah, it's just a bigger, better God of War 1. And which I didn't play the original God of War games, but that's exactly what it is that when you go back in the day, that's what made those games the best ones. A lot of the time, the best ones in the franchises were the ones that took the formula from before and they refined it and they made it better. So, Soul Calibur 2. Soul Calibur. Okay, Soul Calibur is interesting. Do you think Soul Calibur is better than Soul Calibur 2? That's interesting. Because Soul Calibur is one of those goofy things that I can't stand. I had a huge pet peeve with Soul Calibur as a franchise. That logic is tricky because ultimately it's saying trying equals game's bad. You get used to it. Again, AGM, reiterating this, going back again, this just goes back to why you had to get good. Did you have to get good because the game was tough, or did you have to get good because the game had problems? That's a different thing. Battletoads was you had to get good at Battletoads because the controls were bad. That was what was wrong with that game. So that's not good. With the Dad of War, I would say Dad of War is more novel, but Ragnarok has a lot more stuff, but it also has a lot more problems. I actually did enjoy Dad of War 1 more than 2 because it was a bit different from a narrative perspective, and also 2 had a very Ragnarok pissed me off. That's what we're gonna say. Yeah, Soul Calibur 2. That's why that's my pet peeve with Soul Calibur is that you had Soul Edge, and then you had Soul Edge 2, Soul Calibur, and then you had Soul Calibur 2, which is Soul Edge 3, but they dropped the Soul Edge name. And it always pisses me off. So when people say Soul Calibur 2, I don't know if they mean Soul Edge 2, Soul Calibur, or Soul Edge 3, Soul Calibur 2. There is no Soul Calibur 1. Well, technically there is. Soul Calibur 1 is Edge 2. And then they just dropped the Edge name after that. They never went back to Soul Edge. I think that was what... If I were to make a fighting game, if they let me, I would make Soul Edge 2. just to confuse the hell out of everybody. Edge. I played Soul Edge Blade, so I have no first-hand opinion. I never played Soul Blade Edge. I assume Soul Calibur is bad. Soul Calibur Arcade is better than Soul Edge Arcade. Soul Edge PlayStation 1, or Soul Blade as it came out, is better than Soul Calibur. Because I like the adventure mode that the game has in it. I actually really do like that mode. I thought that was a great thing to have in the game. About as bad as the Rambo's. Yeah, as the Rambo series. It's because the dickhead who thought he could own the word Edge sued them over the name Soul Edge. They changed it to Soul Calibur. Oh, that's why Calibur is spelt wrong. That way they could argue in case it happened again. However, it was never Soul Edge in the EU. Yeah, we had Soul Blade. Well, the arcade was Soul Edge. We had that a lot. We had that too. We had Soul Blade. Do I have Soul Blade? That's a good question. I don't think I have Soul Blade. Yeah, Soul Blade had a great adventure mode in it where you could get like new weapons for your characters. It was very cool. The only thing that stopped the guy suing was when he went after an indie studio called EA over Mirror's Edge. Oh, that's his fault. Speaking of twos, Sonic 2 is a much better game than much better than Sonic 1. Sonic's second movie is great too. Golden Sun 2 is better than Golden Sun 1. Oh. I know I've played 1 and 2. I don't think I played Dark Dawn. I was playing 1 again on the app, and then I just stopped playing it. I just started playing other stuff. Sly 2 Bandit Thieves is considered the best Sly Cooper game. Star Ocean 2 is better than Star Ocean 1. We didn't get Star Ocean 1. Not originally. The first Star Ocean that we got was on PS1. It was Star Ocean 2. I have trouble separating the Golden Sun games because they're such a unified narrative. Yeah, I just know that there's the two of them. It's Golden Sun 2, The Lost Age, and then it's Dark Dawn. Ooh, Lufia 2. Ooh, do I think Lufia 2 is a better game? I definitely have more nostalgia with 1. Do I think 2 was the better game? It was more puzzle heavy. And I don't know if I enjoyed that more. I think I just have too much nostalgia for Lufia 1. I just have too much nostalgia for that game. That's hard. I can't pick between 1 and 2 without bias. I just can't. Pokemon Gen 2 better than Gen 1? Ooh, wait a minute now. Now we're... Well, I mean, as games go, I mean, they kind of are, right? So far, RoboCop got a remaster in the first-person shooter type. Wait, well, a remaster? Wait, RoboCop? I know they did Rogue City. Maintain that Metroid Prime... Ooh, Metroid Prime 1 is better than Prime 2. I want to say no, but I do kind of like it better. I do kind of like Prime 1 better. I think it's just more traditional. I think it was a bit more traditional. I think 2. You know what I didn't like? I didn't like in 2. I honestly when you go to the dark area and you have to like shoot the crystals to like you have to avoid the dark shadow aether or whatever it's called. I actually don't like that. I find that to be obnoxious to me. Because you don't ever get away from that, right? Do you ever get a suit? I forgot. I haven't played Prime 2 in forever. I don't think you get a suit that completely eliminates the dark ether, right? You always have to use those crystals to get around. Gen 2 is considered one of the best of the series. It just has the Pokemon roster issue and level curve. Lufia 2 is better gameplay-wise, but it's a more depressing story. And you know the ending of 2 if you play like 10 minutes of 1. I like Lufia 1's story more. It's dull game. See, do I think Lufia 1 is dull? I don't know. I have so much fondness for that game. Dark and light to protect you. Shrek 2 is considered by most as a big improvement over 1. I don't like it either. Or the ammo. Yeah, the ammo requirements, like it's kind of weird. You know what I mean? It's Oh, I got one. Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 2 is usually considered better than 1, but I think that for that franchise, 3 is probably where Gran Turismo peaked. I think people I don't know for you racing game fans out there, would you say that Gran Turismo 3 is where GT peaked? How about Dead Space 2 over 1? I played each of them once. I didn't play 3. 3 is the one that I didn't play. I might have to say I liked 1 better. I might have to actually say I liked 1 better. 2, yeah. 2 started to lean a bit more into the action, which normally works well for me, but I don't know. I think I kind of like the sort of horror movie. I look at Dead Space is actually a good comparison for this. The Alien movies. Alien and Aliens. They were fundamentally different kinds of movies, and I kind of looked at Dead Space the same way. Dead Space 1, obviously there was a lot of action in it, but Dead Space 1 felt very much more the monster on the ship, right? You're trying to avoid the alien creatures. And then 2 felt a little bit more shooty. So, where with Alien and Aliens, Alien was a suspense horror movie. And then the second one, Aliens, was an action movie. You know, that was an action shoot 'em up. We're gonna go shoot the aliens, and that's what that movie was. Dead Space was a little bit like that. I don't think it was as night and day, but it was a little bit like that. You know what was like that? Dino Crisis. I think Dino Crisis 1 was very much a great Resident Evil game, and then Dino Crisis 2 was a mediocre shooting game. It was a mediocre action game. I didn't like 2 nearly as much as I liked 1, and I never played 3. Yeah, hello, Ryan. Ryan, are you back home? Are you finally back home? Mega Man 2 also here. Yeah, we said Mega Man earlier. Yeah, Mega Man 2 is universally considered better than 1. Dead Space 2 is better than 1, but if you played Dead Space 1 Remake, that one is much better. Oh. I thought the Dead Space 1 remake was like the bad one, but it apparently Callisto Protocol is the one that was disappointing. Not bad, but disappointing. DreamWorks usually does their 2s better. Aside from Mega Man 2, there was a Mega Man 2? Shrek 2, Kung Fu Panda 2, Puss in Boots 2, How to Train Your Dragon 2 are considered the best of DreamWorks. Is How to Train Your Dragon 2 considered better than 1? I mean, that is a good movie. Usually sequels that choose to improve rather than... That's what I was saying, yeah. Sequels that choose to improve rather than to shake things up tend to be better received. The shake-up often is more successful after a taste change. Breath of the Wild for Zelda. I think it was 2 that had the eye poke scene. I thought that was 1. I thought 1 had the eye poke scene. Assassin's Creed 2 is a massive improvement. It's such a massive improvement over 1. Another set of 2s considered good improvement. Crash Bandicoot 2 and Spyro 2. Back home, I'm tired. So what are we arguing about? No. Ronan, talking about follow-ups to games that, as long as they refined the formula, they were better games. So like Sonic 2 is universally considered to be better. Streets of Rage 2, Street Fighter 2, like they're universally considered better. But then you have like Zelda and Mario 2, where they tried to change the formula, and then when they went back and refined the first formula, those are considered some of the best in their franchises, right? Super Metroid and Zelda 3 are considered some of the best of those franchises, and they were effectively better part 1s. Yeah, and that's why Mario 2 and Zelda 2, they tried to drastically change the formula, and it didn't work. And then, so what are the third games in those? What is Mario 3 and Zelda 3? They are refinements of the first game. Actually, I would say Zelda 3 more than Mario 3. I do think Mario 3... Do you think that Mario 3 could be considered a refinement of Mario 1? Do you think that's because it's still a platformer, but it's so much more. there's so much happening extra, and like when you look at Sonic 2 is clearly a refinement of Sonic 1. Streets of Rage 2 is clearly a refinement of Streets of Rage 1. Mario 3 almost feels like a different kind of game in a way, right? With just adding the map and adding in the fact that you can change which direction you sort of go, it kind of almost feels different in a way. Let me happen to that. I don't know if it's better. Mario 2 Japan would like a word. Mario 2 Japan can stay in Japan. How about that? Hey, Sir GG. Splatoon or Splatoon 2? I like the campaign in the original more, but 2 added more everywhere. Splatoon 2 over 1. Splatoon 2 over 1. Absolutely. Specifically because of that. Specifically because it is the first game, but more. They did more to it. They did almost everything better. The only reason you would pick 1 over 2 is because you have a fondness for certain things in that game that didn't come back. I don't know why everybody hated it. I still defend 100%. Salt Spray Rig was my favorite stage from the first one. That and Kelp Dome, I did like those 2 stages. I absolutely love those stages, and I never understood why people didn't like Salt Spray Rig specifically. I'm glad Kelp Dome made a comeback. Kelp Dome made a comeback, didn't it? Wasn't that was in 1, right? What about Mass Effect? Ooh, Mass Effect. Mass Effect is interesting. What do you think about Mass Effect? I've heard people say that they love Mass Effect 1 over 2. But I know that I've heard the other way around. I know that I've heard that people say that they like 2 because it was more. The only thing missing from 2 is they don't have the Mako. I like the car. Yeah, see, look. Somebody said Mass Effect 1 over 2. Kelpdom came back, I think, yeah. Yeah, Mass Effect 1 is better. Mass Effect 2 is best, easily. 2 is my favorite of the trilogy. ME2 story-wise is kind of filler, I believe. Interesting. Never gotten to Mass Effect. Mass Effect is good. That's a good franchise to get into. We still got to go back and beat the third one. We haven't beaten the third one yet. Kelpdom, what is something? Kelpdom came back in 2, yeah. Yeah, somebody says Xenoblade. Xenoblade 1 was better, and then somebody else says Xenoblade 2 was better. I've heard plenty of people that love Xenoblade. Xenoblade's so wild. Xenoblade is so wild because I have heard people say they prefer each of those 3 games the best. I have heard people say that 1, 2, and 3 are all the best of those of that franchise, which is that's a good problem to have. I think that's a good problem to have. I can factually say Xenoblade Chronicles 2. Yeah, you didn't like 1 that much. Xenoblade 2 is still my favorite. Uncle, go save the galaxy. It reminds me of Professor X. Go and save the city. Do you like Toy Story 1 or 2 better? Ew. Movie-wise. I can't speak on the games. Movie-wise. Do I like Toy Story 1 or 2 better? I haven't seen them in forever, so I don't remember them too much. I kind of like 2 better. I think I might like 2 the best, to be honest with you. 3, I like 3. You know what I liked about 3? I like the ending of 3. I like the ending of I was mad about the idea of a Toy Story 4 because I like the ending of 3 so much. I think that 3's ending should have been the end of that franchise. Mass Effect is a weird one because since things changed so much as the games went on, one often feels different than the others. Having all your games be the best for certain people, you've done your job. You're absolutely right, Jam. You've done your job as a game developer. You've done. Here's what I would say: you've done well by the franchise. You have honored the franchise that you work on. If you participated in making one of those 3 games, and fans will not argue, but fans will discuss which one they think is the best and why. Let me go back up. Scroll up chat. Put a list of 2s. Wait, hold on. How far do I have to scroll up? He said scroll up chat. You have a list of 2s. I gotta go. There's a lot. Where's your list? Repost your list. Toy Story 1 for sure. Interesting. Having all your games be the best. If it's games too easy, but Toy Story 2, the game is different than the first one. Does 14 count? 2.0 was a remake of the failed 1.0, so technically it was a sequel. And Lilac, let's say we do count it. Can we all agree that 2.0 was better than 1.0? Want a hot take? SA1 or 2? Guaranteed discourse. Moving right along. Oh, there we go. Ratchet and Clank 2, Fallout 2, Sonic Rivals 2, FF13 2, Mario Galaxy 2, Burnout 2, Tekken 2, Street Fighter 2, CVS, MVC. That's a big one. Halo 2? Yes, I would say absolutely say Halo 2. The only way I want Toy Story 4 should have happened. They didn't follow Andy's toys and follow. Yeah, I think so. I think so. I think that Toy Story 4 shouldn't have been Toy Story 4. It should have been Toy Story the New Box. That's what you should have called it. You should have called it Toy Story the New Box, and it should have followed a new batch of toys with a new kid and a whole new premise, where maybe the kid is more like what's his face, who was Sid. Maybe he's a little more like him, and he learns to appreciate what he has or something. Like maybe you make a lesson out of it. See the AI action figure that's coming from AI? Wait, what? Al? Is that Al or is that AI? Those curious of the game and playing through Sparks of Hope. I got to level 10 to the Lighthouse. To be honest, I'm glad I got to try it. I think it's a great entry point for those who want to try those kinds of RPGs. I don't see myself buying this game. I'm glad with this trial. I can recommend this game, but the genre of the game is not for me. I got pretty far in Sparks of Hope. I think I got like to the 4th or 5th chapter. I'm probably more than halfway through the game. I just kind of stopped playing it. For Xenoblade 231, it's like having 3 excellent desserts to choose from. SMB, well, Elliot, that's what we were saying. SMB, 2, like Mario 2 and Zelda 2 and Metroid 2, those games tried to do something different. And then when instead of trying to do something different for the third game, they went back to refine the formula from the first game, and those are considered some of the best in their franchise. Last of Us 2? Which one? Which Last of Us 2? I don't think Mario Galaxy 2. I can tell you that the Mario Galaxy 1 versus 2 debate is real. I can tell you that there are people that will discuss whether or not they think the first one or the second one is better. Didn't Sid grow up to be the garbage man? Yeah, Sid was there's a theory online or just a talking point online about Sid in the Toy Story movie, especially Toy Story 1, where he wasn't really a bad kid at all. What was wrong? Like, what did he do wrong? If you go back and you look at that, what did Sid actually do wrong in Toy Story 1? It's not like he knew the toys were alive. He took the toys and he took them apart, and then he made them other things. Just because they were creepy, any other movie would have had a whole thing about how those toys, even though they look creepy, they were toys and they deserved to be happy. Right? But Toy Story made them villains, and then they made Sid the villain. Sid was playing with his toys. That's all he was doing. He got traumatized for it. He was totally fine. Sid's one of those moments where as you grow up, you start to realize that the narrative is, he tried to blow up toys with dynamite. Who didn't do that? Did you guys not do that? Wait, did you not do that? I did that. Where not with M80s. I didn't have M80s. I wasn't that, like, my parents wouldn't let me get those anyway. But I had like firecrackers on my toys. I thought that was funny. I tried melting them every once in a while. I've done that before. Not a lot. But yeah, I've done that. I've had little things where I never blew up my toys. You ever blew up your toys? You never put like firecrackers? Did you ever play with firecrackers? I used to play with firecrackers with my toys all the time. I cannot. Yeah, this is not the place for that. Nope. Yep. Hello, 911. He's over there. I already got him out. It wasn't destructive, but I did some Lego destruction. Yeah, he had a rocket for fireworks. Sid was just creative. I made my toys duke it out, but I never had them blown up. I mean, did you have explosives, though? For all of you saying that you didn't blow them up, did you have explosives and you just didn't use them? Wait, was that a bot? No, it was not a bot. Well, he was an ass, but he wasn't a bot. My parents would have never bought me any toy again if I did that. Yeah, I did that with my. I mean, my parents didn't really care what I did with my toys, as long as I wasn't like leaving them out in the street or something, and as long as it wasn't a brand new toy that I threw away or something. Because I didn't throw away my toys, I kept all of my toys, and I always played with them, but I was rough with my toys, so they had like cuts and scratches and scars in them and stuff, but I played with them. That's the thing, is that I was a kid that I would take my He-Mans fought my G.I. Joes, and my Transformers were mixed in there, and they would mess around, and they'd hit each other, and they'd fall off shelves and stuff. Like, that was just what I did. We like to play with fire. Matches, not explosives. Exactly. Who had explosives in their household? Well, when 4th of July would come around, they would sell fireworks in our neighborhood. So we would buy like firecrackers and stuff. And they sold M80s and stuff like that too, but I didn't buy any of that stuff. I'm trying to choose. See, look, Ronan, you got a whole list of them. You got a whole list of 2s that were better than 1s. Someone was saying, Sid was stealing and destroying his sister's toys. Okay, well, that's a problem. That's a problem. I'd like to see a Sid that found out that the toys became a doctor, and in Toy Story 4. Oh, wait. Toys became a doctor for the toys? Oh, I see what you mean. If I did that stuff to my sister's dolls, my parents would have sold my stuff to buy new ones for. Yeah, and that's a problem. So there we go. That's something that he did wrong. Hang on one second here. Sid's a very interesting case, because it is kind of like, it's like the as you get older, you think that Squidward was right and that SpongeBob was annoying, and I still think my most popular one, or one of my favorite ones, is the idea that Tom and Jerry were in on it, that it was all like a ruse, so that Jerry could still have a house to live in and Tom would still have a purpose. Because if he didn't have a mouse to chase, they might kick him out. Yeah, Jerry was a jerk. Jerry was where they were legit. Jerry was a jerk. But there was a theory that they were kind of in cahoots. Yeah, like scam artists. Oh, he was also a jerk at Pizza Planet. Oh, was he? I don't remember the Pizza Planet thing. Johnny's so traumatized. I'm sure he isn't. I'm sure it's just kind of like, that's just a footnote in history. Just a footnote in history. Yeah, Tom's out there trying to get some tail, right? He's trying to cowboy up with the lady cat. He's trying to serenade her outside her window. And then Jerry would get the dog to mess with him too. Tom was always trying to eat. That's a good question. Was Tom trying to eat Jerry? I always thought Tom was trying to kill Jerry. For whatever they were trying to make it look like, I always thought Tom was trying to kill him, not eat him. How was he supposed to eat him? And when he crushed him, same thing with Wile E. Coyote. There was the whole gag about like Roadrunner. Every body part from a Roadrunner and every feather tastes different. So the coyote was trying to catch the Roadrunner so that he could eat him. But it's like, how much are you gonna have to eat if you drop a boulder on him or you blow him up with dynamite? Cats eat mice. They do eat mice. But my cat and my cat has eaten mice. But my cat Sage never tried to drop a bowling ball on them. So. As far as I know, Sage never tried to drop a bowling ball on a mouse. I'll give you a good one. Sylvester. Whenever Sylvester was trying to get Tweety, he was trying to eat Tweety. Like, he very blatantly was trying to eat Tweety. Okay, I am using the latest version. Roadrunner I excuse more than Jerry. Roadrunner is trying to survive in the wild. Jerry actively antagonizes Tom even before Tom does anything to him. Yeah, Roadrunner is kind of weird because Roadrunner actively wasn't really doing anything. He was just living his life, running around. It's not like anything that he was doing was pissing him off. Coyotes are scavengers who usually prefer broken corpses. Oh yeah, you're kind of right about that. They are like carrion feeders. Yeah, you are right about that. You're exactly right with that. Speedy too. The few times they crossed over, was Speedy ever? I mean, Sylvester was always trying to catch him, but Speedy was never really hostile towards Sylvester. Dexter's won a piece to run his experiments. Dee Dee was a bitch who ruined everything and wouldn't give him space. Which cartoon do you think did the physical comedy the best? Ooh, Looney Tunes, Tom and Jerry, or not Ed, and Eddie. Looney Tunes, just because there was so much variety. Tom and Jerry was Tom and Jerry, and there were different eras of Tom and Jerry, and they did it fantastically. But Looney Tunes just did so much. Now, out of Looney Tunes, I was a Roadrunner and Coyote person. I loved Roadrunner and Coyote. They were. I never laughed as hard as a kid or as an adult than when I watched those. Although there are some individual moments from some of the other ones where I just think it's too much. There's the Robin Hood, but it's Daffy, and the duck season, wabbit season stuff. When when Elmer would shoot Daffy and then like his beak would be on backwards, hysterical. It's just so funny to me. Which series aired first between Tom and Jerry and Looney Tunes? That I don't know. Because there's the era of Tom and Jerry that people think they remember is not the first. Like, there's old Tom and Jerry out there. Yoinks! And away! When he slams into the tree over. And the ho, haha, guard, turn, parry, dodge, and he keeps getting flipped over. It's so ridiculous. And it's so stupid, and I love it. Looney Tunes came first. Looney Tunes. Did Looney Tunes come first, or did Bugs Bunny come first? Like, Bugs Bunny was just Bugs Bunny at the time, right? When he was that annoying. By the way, I hated that Bugs Bunny. That original Bugs Bunny, that was like the Brooklyn Bugs with the yellow gloves. Oh my God, I could not stand that version of Bugs. Hated him. Oh, Looney Tunes aired. Was it Looney Tunes before it was Bugs Bunny? It was Looney Tunes first. Roadrunner and Coyote often felt like a non-toxic back and forth. It felt more like action. Yeah, it was like action. That's what it was. It was nonsense. It was nonsense for the sake of nonsense. It was Porky, then Daffy, then Bugs. Melody Memories. That's what it was. No, not Melody. Merry Melodies. Wasn't it Merry Melodies? Yeah, Tom and Jerry was 40s. Yeah, Tom and Jerry, I think the early 40s stuff is the stuff that I wasn't a big fan of. And then later is when I really liked Tom and Jerry. Yeah, it's Merry Melodies. I wasn't a huge fan of the Hanna-Barbera stuff, right? Wacky Races I thought was really great, but Hanna-Barbera for the most part, right? You had your Huckleberry Hound and all of that stuff. I always felt like those cartoons were kind of made more for grown-ups. And to be fair, I think there's a lot of Looney Tunes stuff that I look at and I think kids were probably not going to get that joke. I think that might have been for grown-ups, but I always felt like like Yogi Bear, right? Flintstones especially. Flintstones and Jetsons weren't made for kids. They were made for adults. Yeah. Hanna-Barbera in general, I felt like was a little bit more adult themed. I think that the jokes and the settings and the characters were typically a bit more for grown-ups to get. A big one with that was Rocky and Bullwinkle. That's not Hanna-Barbera, but Rocky and Bullwinkle. I don't think they were Hanna-Barbera, but Rocky and Bullwinkle were very much, those cartoons were meant for kids, for grown-ups to laugh at them. They were meant, the way those jokes were written, a laugh track, like a lot of that stuff was meant for grown-ups. I hated Rocky and Bullwinkle. Those cartoons looked mad low budget. They were made for grown-ups. 40 stuff was theater shorts, so adults were the ones to go. Cartoons in general were for adults until Disney came with the fairy tales. Tom and Jerry were my favorite all time. They might have been made for adults, but and I loved them as a kid. I mean, they were sold to us as kids. You know, by the time I was a kid, when I was a kid, they were already being sold to children. But I just mean that the humor. I mean a lot of that. What I mean is a lot of that humor was like Flintstones. When Fred Flintstone would get off work and they would pull the horn for work to be done, and it was a bird that would yell. That's not a joke for kids. That's a joke for grown-ups. You know what I mean? Like that's what that's for. And kids are gonna laugh at it. They're gonna think that it's funny. Like, the bird made a noise. But ultimately, it's grown-ups that are meant to look at that and go, look, he's knocking off work and he's grabbing some beers, right? It's a shame because I think nowadays, if you did the Flintstones, you would have Fred and Barney go and get some beers, and they drink a couple of Rolling Rocks. Yeah, Flintstones was just. What does he say in it's a Simpsons gag when they sue the studio that makes Itchy and Scratchy. He's like, all right, so what? Animation is built on plagiarism. If you didn't have if you didn't have the Honeymooners, you wouldn't have the Flintstones. If someone had ripped off Sergeant Bilko, there'd be no Top Cat. And yeah, it is kind of like that. It's like a lot of those cartoons were. That's what they were. They were cartoonized versions of other things that already existed. I remember seeing those Flintstones in show ads. That's AVGN. My grandparents gave me Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon, and I loved it. Some of those jokes were pretty. Flip, were you older or were you much younger? Yeah, Flintstones and especially Rocky and Bullwinkle were not kid shows. Flintstones was your first King of the Hill, where adults were the focus. It was a sitcom. Yeah, it was a sitcom. It was, and that's a great way to put that. That's a very good way to put that. Flintstones was an animated sitcom. The Jetsons was an animated sitcom. It was about a family dynamic, primarily the adults, and it was about the wackiness that ensues during the hustle and bustle of their daily lives. It was less about ridiculous cartoon scenarios. It was not a cat chasing a mouse. It was not a rabbit fighting with the artist that's making the animation. Like it wasn't anything like that. It was for all intents and purposes, it was a sitcom, just an animated one. Yogi Bear, yeah, Yogi Bear was kind of there. You know, Yogi Bear was kind of there. Yogi Bear was kind of in the middle, like you said. It was a cartoon in the sense that the premise was silly, but it was a sitcom in the way that a sitcom would be Parks and Rec or something. It was a sitcom in the sense that you had a very centralized location where things happen. You had a setting. And I think that's a good way to put that. You had a setting. When you watch a Looney Tunes cartoon, there was no setting. They weren't in a city. It didn't take place somewhere. Tom and Jerry was like a random ass house. The house was always different half the time. You would look and there was like a mansion that they lived in. It felt like the Flintstones was bedrock. There was a city, there was a town, there was a stable setting. Jellystone National Forest for Yogi. These were sitcoms. These were settings. It wasn't until the 80s when TV shows started to be mainly directed towards kids. Isn't that's the whole toy advertising thing too, isn't it? Where it's like there were rules that you couldn't market towards like directly towards children. Let's never forget Tom's Owner. Yeah, like and yeah, we never saw Tom's Owner. We saw Lilac. We never saw Tom's Owner, but we did see enough of the maid. If you really want to date that show. No, we never saw the owner. We saw the maid. I don't think we ever saw the owner. I don't know. I know that we saw the maid a couple of times. And yeah, that dated the show and possibly the part of the country we were in. She was the owner? No, she was like in a maid's outfit. The one that I'm thinking of was in a maid's outfit. Yeah, propaganda shirts of World War II. Harmon and Ishing, the guys who created Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, former Walt Disney employees who quit the studio after a particularly nasty argument and rumored fist fight. Harmon wanted to surpass the popularity of Disney out of spite. Sometimes the maid was also the owner. That was the thing. Tom had different owners. They changed a lot. I never understood the whole thing around the maid until years later. Yeah, it was. Yeah, what I learned about when I learned about USA history, I thought this was the owner. Let me see. No, okay. So I don't remember her. There is a hold on. Let me see if I can find Tom and Jerry. Let me see if I can find Tom and Jerry maid. This is who I'm thinking of. Jerry maid. Let's see if they show. Oh, it actually labels her as the maid. Hold on. Yeah, you have to be really. I don't even want to type this in. I don't know if this is a. See, I don't know if this is a negative stereotype or not. I legitimately I legitimately don't know if saying her name is a stereotype or not. But I don't know. I always thought of her as the maid. Like I always kind of felt like they treated her that way. It's the 40s, so it might be. Yeah, I don't know if I can, because I don't know if that's it. Yeah, Elliot, thank you for saying it. Two shoes. That word, two shoes. I legitimately don't know if it's considered a derogatory term anymore, so I don't know if it's safe to even say. Yeah, I wouldn't risk it. But that two shoes seems to be what it's listed here. You'll get enough listings there, but there's tons of pictures, and they very rarely showed her up above the waist. But I always took it that she was supposed to be like the maid character. Partially seen characters on written season. She appeared in 19 cartoons. Her appearances have often been edited out. Her appearances have often been edited out, dubbed, or reanimated in later television showings, since her character is a stereotype now usually considered racist. Yeah. Yeah, she wasn't the maid for the household. Okay. Yeah, she was, whether or not she was the maid, she was a very racially charged stereotype of a character. And there were a couple of moments where they kind of did other things, like, I mean, it's the same thing with Looney Tunes. Looney Tunes had a bunch of those moments too where they were kind of like, ooh, you're kind of, I guess they were okay with it back then, but it wasn't okay. They just didn't say anything. Yeah, I love that moment too. He was so great in that movie. Yeah, exactly. The problem is, look who's saying it. So, you ever saw the face of the caretaker of the Muppet Baby? Oh, that was Nanny. Yeah, Nanny. We never saw. Yeah, you're right. We never saw the. What we never saw in the Muppet Babies was whoever owns the place, because she was Nanny. They called her Nanny. So we don't actually know, like, we just assumed she was the caretaker. So we don't actually know where they were. I always kind of, believe it or not, I always kind of assumed, I know this is going to sound kind of sad. Am I the only one that assumed that the Muppet Babies was an orphanage? I always kind of thought it was an orphanage. Like, even when I was younger, I was like, oh, they don't have parents. That's why they have a nanny. Like, the only person there is a nanny. We don't ever see the parents. They don't ever talk about them. They don't interact with them. Why would you have all of these kids that are so very different? And they're all in one place. And it's like, I always kind of thought it was an orphanage. You thought it was a daycare, but I don't know that they never played into the school aspect of it. I always thought it was an orphanage. Is that like grim? That I always thought that? I mean, a daycare probably makes more sense. But they never played into that. Here's the problem. I when it's thinking of it as a daycare, they never ever played. And I know that it's Muppet Babies, right? This is hardly Shakespeare that we need to analyze. But they never played into the aspect of they go home. They never played like they lived there. Yeah, because that wasn't the focus of the show. They never even brought up the idea that like they would go home. It's not like at the beginning of the episode they showed up. You know, they were always kind of there. And I think that there were episodes where they slept there. So I always kind of thought it was an orphanage. Such that I have a warning saying those things before watching those cartoons needed to help understand why it's a product of its time. I think that it never just to position my viewpoints when I grew up with these old cartoon stereotypes. Yeah, it doesn't make them okay just to understand it's a product of its time. The great WB did a fantastic warning about that years and years ago. Looking it up, I can't find if the word is considered offensive or racist in itself. It's said to be a female stereotype of the. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've heard words like that, and I don't know if they're actually considered racist or just insensitive. If they slept there, it was if they slept there, it was probably nap time. That's interesting. That's such an oddly grim sort of thing that I just always kind of thought that that's what it was, and I never really cared. That's the thing. It was never like, it's an orphanage. This show is so sad. It was like, oh, it's an orphanage, but they have fun. You know, it's because like somebody said, that wasn't the focus of the show. The focus of the show wasn't that these kids need to be sad because they're in an orphanage. The focus of the show was all of the goofy stuff that they do. And it also kind of explained a lot of the escapism. Just like Rugrats was straight up no, Rugrats wasn't a daycare. Rugrats was somebody's house, right? Wasn't it? It was technically like babysitting at one of their houses. If it's same logic at time applies in what's in fiction isn't the real world. So I never thought of these characters like that's kind of how people are in real life. It wasn't just at nap time. They often had rooms they went to bed at night. Oh yeah, you're right. They did. Yeah, that was the Pickles house. So yeah, but we always knew that. That's the thing. We always knew that with Rugrats. Rugrats was child neglect the show, given what trouble the babies got into. I do still like the very dark version of Rugrats, or the very dark theory about Rugrats. I love that. I love that theory. All the families in Rugrats are close knit. Hence, they hang out. Yeah, they hang out at the Pickles house. Yeah, there's a very dark theory about what Rugrats what was going on in Rugrats, and it's wild. It's wild. Yeah. The Angelica theory. That's a creepypasta, isn't it? Isn't that what that's called? The creepypasta? Yeah. I love that theory. I don't particularly believe it. I love it as a theory. I like fun theories. I like when you cook something up and you kind of make it work. I get a kick out of that. I'm not one of those people. I think people get pissed off about that. Like, we don't need to read into everything. It's like, but we can. We can have a little fun, right? Can I have a little fun and make up a goofy theory? I know that you know what? I know that the Angelica theory isn't true, but you know what else isn't true? Rugrats. It's the whole cartoon is made up. So why can't I make up a little bit of extra lore? What's the theory about? You'd have to look it up specifically. The theory is that the theory I think is that all of the kids don't exist. Angelica is the only kid that actually exists, and like Tommy doesn't exist. Chucky, it doesn't exist as a manifestation of something else. Phil and Lil don't exist, but they were the product of something specific. And there's a reason that there's two of them, that one's a boy and one's a girl. Like, it's the idea that the kids are actually made up. They're Angelica making everything up. And that's her, like, she's an only kid and she has no one to play with. So she invented all of these characters. It's very interesting. Or as Caddy calls her, a fanny. The actual messed up episode of Rugrats, episode where Tommy almost fell into a mail sorting machine. That's crazy. Imagine your kid theory gets debunked by yeah, and that's why, and that theory came out before Rugrats All Grown Up, and it's a nonsense theory anyway. Because it is reading a lot into an already fictional story. But I like that stuff. I get a kick out of that stuff. I still wish my my Inspector Gadget theory pans out. But no one's making Inspector Gadget stories, but one day I will sit down and I will pen my Inspector Gadget theory memoir, and I will break it all down as to what Inspector Gadget actually is. Yeah, Chinese kid. Yeah. Jonathan made them all up. She was feeling low. She didn't know. Yeah, exactly. That's like a brief summary of it. A lot like. The fan ninja looking for a second. She was a jerk, but I think the show would have been boring without her. I like fun theories. Looks at theory in discussion. Oh, fun. Yeah, it's a really dark. I think it was a creepypasta. It's a very dark theory. The parents of Rugrats should be charged for. Why should they be charged for neglectfulness? Just because they left their kids for hours and hours on end? All right, what do we got? We got a half an hour left. Do we want to play a game? Do we want to not play a game together? Just do we want to try out Starfy? Should I start? Just Starfy's up, right? Those games are up on the app already. They're not like coming out tonight. Why did every cartoon have the they all died, someone made up theory or coma theory like in Pokemon? I like the coma theory. I like the Pokemon coma theory. I mean, I've had that theory about Animal Crossing. I told you my Animal Crossing theory. I always thought Animal Crossing was your character died. Yeah, Starfy is up. Yeah, I always thought Animal Crossing was that your character died. And then so the world of Animal Crossing, every game of Animal Crossing is limbo. And your character died, and he shows up, or they show up at the town where they think about it. They just show up, and all of a sudden now, well, eventually, first they were like the savior of the town, and now you're the mayor. You get there, and you're automatically the mayor. It's your responsibility to take care of everything. It's your responsibility to help everybody out. And the point of Animal Crossing is for you to become a better person. It's for you to grow as an individual. And then you can either move on at the end, and you move on to whatever the next life is, or if you decide that you want to stay and you want to help other people in their journey of rediscovery, of growth in the afterlife, you become an animal and you live there now. And now your mission is that you move from limbo to limbo. Every limbo is related to one person specifically. So if you decide that you want to help people in the afterlife, you become an animal, and then you now move from town to town helping people where you go. So Animal Crossing is the good place. I thought the point of Animal Crossing was to learn what crippling debt is about. Trust me, if you can pay off your house by shaking fruit trees, you do not know what crippling debt is. Let's be very clear about what real debt looks like and what Animal Crossing disguises as debt. Bear in mind, you show up in the Animal Crossing town, and sight unseen, you are given a no interest, no time limit home loan with many upgrades to your home where the work gets done before you pay for it. So if that's not heaven, I don't know what is. All right. Tom Nook is evil. No way. Tom Nook is evil. Yeah, and then for all of that money that you have to pay back, you can catch bugs. Look at how easy it is to catch bugs in Animal Crossing and then you sell them for thousands of bells and you pay off your house. Go outside and catch a bug right now and tell me it's easy. And that somebody's going to give you 8,000 bells because for whatever reason, your island has flies and fleas and Hercules beetles. I don't know where the hell you live, but your town has everything. He extends your debt after you pay it. Yeah, if I can get $20,000 worth of leaves for debt. Yeah, like, could you imagine? Oh, no, I need furniture for my house. I'm going to go shake trees until I get a couch. But come on. Yeah, and you don't even have to pay the loan back. The only reason you have to pay the loans back in Animal Crossing is because you want to upgrade your house, because you can't upgrade until you pay the loan back. So realistically, if you get there and you're happy with the 4x4 house, you don't ever have to pay a dime. Or a bell. Hold on. Let me change these here. I guess technically I'm gonna put it on the retro. So that's the Simpsons theory. There's an episode where Bart pranks Homer. Oh yeah, and then everything after is the April Fool's episode. It was the April Fool's episode, and that's why the show gets so ridiculous after. Yeah, you're right. That is a good theory. That's a great Simpsons theory. And I love the theory that the Indiana Jones movies are the carbonite dreams of Han Solo. All right, so there you go. Are you gonna play? Yeah, we got a half an hour left, so we're gonna just kill some time. We're gonna play some Starfy games. I never played these games. Oh my god. There's something new to play. Speaking of video game currency, remember when Ted thought Poke dollars, but it's actually yeah, most money like that is in yen, right? What's the theory for when the Simpsons? What's the theory for when the Simpsons were good? What do you mean? Well, somebody Kia brought up the theory that everything after the April Fool's episode is just Homer in a coma. Organize your games. No. Does it drive you crazy? Does it, Marcos, does it drive you crazy to see my games so disorganized? Smithers, look, Emio is coming. Mm-hmm. Who's Emio? Probably the name of some guy. Some guy named Emio. Look. It's so disorganized. Look at it. It's all over the place. Look at it. It's everywhere. Disgusting. Sorry, that was all I wanted to do. So next up, this show will be good again. Why didn't it localize the game? That's what we were talking about that earlier. Because it's easier. Because it's easier just to put them up there. All right, so here we go. Starfy. Sure. I'm not far enough along in my Japanese to be able to read that quickly. Like, I can read some of it, but I just don't know what the words mean. That's the thing. I can say all of this, but I don't know what it means. I'm trying real hard to read this video game, but it's in Jap. Like, I could sit there and I could say everything that I'm reading there if it pauses and I take time to read it. But I don't know what it means. I don't know. It's like I can read English. Like, if you could read English words, you just don't know what the words mean. That's all. That's exactly what it is. Comic that the Indiana Jones searching for Bigfoot, and it was in fact a crashed Millennium Falcon. I'll have to look at that. Oh, look at that. That's kind of cool. You can't read it, but I can. You're further along than I am. I haven't been doing my Genki book really, but I've been doing my Duolingo stuff. Is this a Rystar spinoff? I believe so. No, I legitimately I don't think so. Actually, that's a good question. Is it? Hey, Starfy. No relation to Rystar. Is it Ristar or Rystar? This is this is Nintendo first party. Is this better Echo the Dolphin? Sure. Yeah, I say Rystar. See, if I really cared, I'd have a translation page. Oh, this is the same engine as Wario Land 4. Oh, everybody told me that Wario Land 4 was awesome. Here, we need to start. Oh, it really is swimming. Is it all swimming? Is it like this? Is it really better Echo the Dolphin? Look at it. He's adorable. Yeah, this isn't the whole game, right? Even in English, we'd probably be mashing through text. No, I'd be reading it a little bit. I'd be getting the gist of it, right? Giving them some silly names. Oh, look, he like flies too. Oh, he's so adorable. This does take me back. What? Wait, why is there a barrel all of a sudden? Oh, wait, I can do... There we go. You stood there. Who's going to correct you on the dialogue? We don't know what it says. Oh, yeah, you're right. I can still... Wait. Press B. B plus... Oh. B plus direction. Is that what that says? Auto? Is that? Oh. Yeah, that's auto. Auto. Isn't that auto? Is that for the B plus arrow, right? Is that what that means? Oh, I need those. It was like B plus Aroku. Hello! I'm a crab. I'm blocking the way. Get the shell out of my sight. Oh, I'll let you go. Oh, okay, all right. Hello, Teapot. I am short and stout. Oh, wait, maybe he wants... Oh, maybe he wants... That's what he wants. So, he wants a teapot. Thank you. Now that I have this teapot, I'll be in hot water. Yeah! I give you a key. And the key goes there. And he goes bug-eyed wild. Yeah, but I'm not on the ground. I can't dash. Ah. Hi, I'm a mermaid. Check out my bracelets. See, like that right there where it's like the red text, back in the day, I would write that down. And then when I find something, I would look for that and like, oh, okay, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Oh, no. Is this Starman? This is what Starman did after pro wrestling. Uh-oh. Wait, can I... You get a running start. I wonder if that helps. Oh, it does. Look at that. Yay! Oh, there we go. If you play Link's Awakening and did the item trade side quest, it's pretty much the same premise of this game. Starfy will meet creatures who want certain items or tasks done for them. Find and complete tasks to progress. So they want me to complete tasks in order for me to fulfill their lives. Is Starfy dead? Is this the afterlife? And I, as Starfy, need to learn how to be a better person? Wait, where'd she go? Oh no. Maybe I have to leave. Oh, I'm a wishing star. Oh. Are you back? No? Okay. He did fall from... Oh, okay. Hello. Thank you for the horn. Be in... Okay. Boy, they were really innocent when they called him Twink, huh? They didn't know. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! Get the spinneroonie. Why would the horn give me the ability to spinneroonie? Can I spinneroonie down? Here we go. Can I hit enemy? Oh, I can! That's not very Starfy-like of me. He wishes to be left alone. He's not allowed to self-fulfill wishes. Yeah, that popular. That definition didn't become popular. It'd be like Marcos. It'd be like giving them crap for calling them the Goonies. Yeah, somebody mentioned that. It's the useless guy we summoned in Smash Brothers. Alright. So I don't know if we know. Maybe come on, get up. There you go. Can I break these? No? Okay. No. Couldn't break those before, right? Alright, so we need to figure out what to do now. So yeah, this is the old school game experience. So we need to keep bringing stuff. Oh, okay, he wants a better shell. Maybe I can use the old shell for something. Yeah, so it really is Echo. Oh wait, he's gonna teach me something. Oh, is that the stage? Oh, I guess we're done. Something weird about hearing Americans say brother. Brother? No, I don't think brother's too weird. I mean, we don't typically say that. I think bruv. I think if you hear an American person say bruv, just naturally, I think it's like, that's a little strange. Oh, no, brother's kind of weird too. Brother is kind of strange too. I would like a new Starfy game. I think Starfy has potential as a series. I mean, I would like to see these translated just so that they can evolve a little bit more. Wait, what happened? Oh, wait, if you spin too much, he gets sick. That's awesome. That's awesome. That's so funny. He has so much personality. I don't know. He has so, you know what? He has so much personality, and stars are better than circles anyway. So suck it, Kirby. Yeah, these aren't really the same type of game. Well, okay. This is, you know what this is like? This is like an evolved version of Kirby 1. Because Kirby 1 didn't have the inhaling and transformation stuff. So if you don't change into that, like right with the second game, you get this. It's more, you're not using mobility things. You're you know what I mean? You're not using power-ups. You're using items and stuff. I mean, it's still fundamentally it's still different in the sense that you're finding items and you're giving them to somebody else. It's still more character interaction than anything else. This is probably a fun speedrun game. This is probably a game where they speedrun the hell out of it. Let's go this one. Wait, did I get that right? Oh wait, mermaid girl, right? Oh, she must be a save point. She might be a checkpoint. This one? What are you doing? Leave that guy alone. I won't finish Sparks of Hope in 2 days. It took me 3 hours and 5 days. 3 hours and 5 days to finish Planet 1. So I already deleted it. Oh yeah, Alpha. We were saying earlier, there's 100% a fan translation out there. There's probably even fan translated ROMs of these games out there. It's just they're not as accessible. You know, this goes back to the same problem that we always have, where people say, "Oh, I don't need this. I have fan translated ROMs." It's like, all right, but that's not for everybody. I'd say this is more Echo the Dolphin than Kirby. I think the problem is just that you're swimming all the time. Like, is that the whole game? Is the whole Starfy game? I didn't know that the Starfy game was swimming. You know what's crazy? I think it would make more sense if he was a starfish. If he was a starfish, swimming all the time would make perfect sense. But he doesn't seem to be a starfish. He just seems to be a star. Or is he supposed to be a starfish? I think I might have just blown my own mind. Is he supposed to be a starfish? Is that what he's supposed to be? I literally didn't know that. Once you get a bigger vocabulary, this is an excellent game to play. Yeah, you're kind of right, because there doesn't seem like a whole lot of katakana. Because katakana is the thing that I'm not really focusing on. I'm focusing more on hiragana. So this will be this probably does. It doesn't seem very kanji heavy, and as long as it's not kanji heavy, I think because even the names are in hiragana. This is actually not bad. He's a starfish, meaning he's very famous in the water. Yeah, Yakan to see that see, and then that's she. Yeah, see, I don't know that one. I don't know the second red one. Oh, they use very common kanji, like today and weather, something you might learn very early. Yeah, the name. Well, names are katakana. It's katakana if the word you're trying to say is it sounds like that word. Usually for like foreign words in Japanese is what katakana is for. But I haven't been practicing katakana really. I haven't been understanding which letters mean what. Yeah, you're right though. This might actually be a good early games might actually just be a good idea. The little arms. I think the arms are what's getting me. Not even the eyes. It should be the eyes, but it's the arms that are getting me. Oh no. Oh wait, I can't kill them. I mean, Starfy doesn't kill. Starfy only loves. The mermaids. The mermaids are health pickups. I thought they were checkpoints. Sorry, Starfy. He's originally planned to be a starfish, and when they decided to make him come from the sky, they changed their mind. Also, the studio official answer is he a star or a fish? Is yes. Oh, they are also checkpoints. Okay. Okay, so yeah, so he's a starfish, but he came from the sky. Maybe it's like he. Oh wait, what? Wait, why couldn't I kill them before? There we go. So, like, he's a star from the sky, but because he landed in the sea, they think he's a fish? There you go. I think you can sell it on that. Do any of these give me health? He's a starfish in space. Oh wait, it's that stuff again. Oh no, I broke their junk from before. Can I? Here we go. Whoa. A lot of exploration. Oh, the coins fill up a meter that also gives you health. That's what I thought was happening, but I couldn't tell if they were actually giving me health or not. But yeah, they actually are, because I only had 2 hearts before. And then... Oh, this is the boss. Or at least a tough area. It's a boss. There was a little skull over the door. Oh, shell shock. Ah. All right. I'm guessing maybe I don't have to. Whoa, 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 whoa. I don't know if I'm supposed to... Okay, you just bop him. I didn't know if I had to, like, wait for him to stop spinning. Oh no, I had to spin. I gotta spin. I gotta spin a Rooney. No! Oh, it's Starfy! Yes! Starfy! You're gonna be okay, buddy! Yay! Starfy wins! It looks like a Slowbro's tail. Is this game good? I mean, it's good for what it is. right? It doesn't feel like the most compelling gameplay. It also, it would be nice if I knew what was going on, but it doesn't really feel necessary. Right? I don't feel like I'm missing some deep narrative here. It's hardly a Shakespeare platformer, which kind of sounds awesome. Hey, Shakespeare! That's interesting. Shakespeare! Those stories are public domain, right? Could I make a video game out of Shakespeare stories? Could I make a visual novel love story using Shakespeare setting and characters of Romeo and Juliet? Could I make an action platformer Macbeth? Oh, wait a minute. Wait. Hold on a second here. Yeah, you can even make 3 Lion King movies out of Shakespeare. Shakespeare done by Atlas. That's kind of great. Wait a minute. This is great. Imagine like a Macbeth beat 'em up. Ooh, Othello beat 'em up. No, would Othello be a good beat 'em up? What would Caesar be? Julius. What would Caesar be? Caesar. Maybe. Nah, I don't know if Caesar works as a beat 'em up. McBeat 'em up. Wait, I kind of like this. Caesar would be a salad. Oh, no. Caesar's a pizza place. No. Switch. Caesar is a farming simulator. Oh, where you grow salad ingredients. Oh no, but you have to be careful because the competing farm might stab you in the back. Yes, as long as you strictly follow how things and characters are described in the Shakespeare version, and not a version someone else made of those stories. Because there are you had those movies from the 90s, I think, where you had like the Shakespeare movie. You had the Romeo and Juliet movie with Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes. You had a Macbeth movie that was similar to that, where the entire dialogue is the book dialogue. It's the original story dialogue. That Romeo and Juliet movie, by the way, from the 90s was fantastic. Leonardo DiCaprio, Claire Danes, John Leguizamo was in that movie. That was a great movie. That was actually a very good movie. I'm pretty sure they did a Macbeth version of that where it was like modern setting Macbeth. What time is it? 5:55? We'll wrap it up there. We already beat a boss, so. Guest starring Guns. Yeah, it was awesome. What about Romeo and Juliet? No. Although I heard that movie was adorable, but that's just not something up my alley. Although, you know what? I say that, Kia. I say that Romeo and Juliet is not up my alley, but I guarantee you if I watched it, I would enjoy it. It's like now you can make Winnie the Pooh game, but you can't use Disney's version of Winnie the Pooh. Yeah, you can only use the book version. But that's just by design, right? That's like the design of the character and the setting of the character. You can't use anything. You can't use any of the original concepts that Disney created for that movie, but for a new Winnie the Pooh property. But you can still use the character, the name, and any of the concepts that were created, like. Because when Winnie the Pooh was created, Christopher Robin was also created. Like, all of that was created at the same time. But the version that Disney made, or whoever, I guess it was Disney, because like the original, I don't think Tigger was originally there. I think Piglet was originally there, and I don't know about Eeyore, but I think the original version of Winnie the Pooh, he didn't even wear like the red shirt. I think it was just a bear. So it was like Christopher Robin and the bear, right? So that's really all you could use, because some of that other stuff came later. Yeah, Ronan, even that's a little close, right? Yeah, you could do any kind of parody of Shakespeare as long as it's not pulling from... Yeah, as long as you're not pulling someone else's adaptation, which I wouldn't want to do anyway. I would want to keep everything as Shakespearean as possible. But as long as I'm writing my own Shakespearean style dialogue, or Shakespearean sounding nonsense, because that's how I would do it. If I were to use Shakespeare to make a certain type of game, I would probably use Shakespearean sounding nonsense. Like, I'd actively have them saying, "Oh, forsooth, doth hither cometh," and then I'd have somebody else like, "What? What are you saying?" Did you see that? Did you see that clip of me and John? Did you guys see that clip of me and John from from the third Deadpool movie? It's pretty good. I can't believe they used that without our permission. I think it was Disney made. So you just can't say everything is close to, yeah. You can't just say everything, but it is. I saw it, Jerf. I just saw you finally playing Indivisible. Isn't it good? I like this Razmi chick. Jerf, Razmi is going to be your favorite character throughout the whole game. I promise you that. She's going to be your favorite throughout the whole game. As you see, a current YouTube music issue. Sometimes others like to claim your parody is not a parody of the OG, but of their parody, and that causes issues. Yeah, I'd be Deadpool in that. AGM, there's no question. That's who I am. AGM, are you familiar with the reference Are you not familiar with the reference? I saw when you had asked on Twitter, like, which one would I be? I'm like, no, I guess you're not familiar with the actual reference of that. That's an actual reference to something that we did. You saw the clip. Do you know what the clip is referencing? Do you know that clip is a reference to something? There's a reason that somebody tagged us in that. That means something specific. That's why when you said, like, oh, I don't know who it is, like, which one is which, I'm like, no, there's a reason. I am very clearly Deadpool in that reference. Okay, so if you go to the Pac-Man Fever stream, the extra live stream that we did a few years ago, it's the last half hour. We get into this gigantic conversation, right? Because everybody's all worn out. Everybody's all tired, and I'm trying to drag the conversation. I'm trying to pull us to the finish line. So me and John get into this thing where I'm trying to explain to him that cap is a current slang term. That's why that's literally exactly what was happening, is that I'm saying, like, no, the kids, that's what they're saying. Like, it means this or that. And he's like, I just don't accept it. And it's such a hysterical moment. Yeah, that's why. That's an actual direct reference to us. Nintendo Street is trending. It's just tweets from last year. I mean, Nintendo's always kind of trending. Oh, I forgot. It's the clip of Deadpool saying no cap to Wolverine, and he doesn't understand it. So he's like, no cap. It's what all my Gen Zers are saying now. It's such a great reference to us. All right, give me a second here. Let me. Hang on 1 second here. Oh, I have to send you there. Rabbit had said the horror fire and mental plane. She's so great. Yeah, Ryan. That's exactly where I was going. Yeah, Razmi was the best character in Indivisible. Okay, but that is going to do it for today. So thank you for the shorter stream. I very much appreciate it. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out. Did I see the Brave New World teaser? No, I also didn't see the Gladiator 2. There's a Gladiator 2 trailer that I didn't see. I saw that it popped up, but I didn't watch it yet. I'll probably watch that in a little bit. Tomorrow we're going to be playing Rocket League, so hopefully everybody will be here for that. I'll probably move my PS5 over and play it on PS5, so it's just a cleaner image, and it's the controller that I'm used to now. So we'll play some Rocket League tomorrow for Community Day, so hopefully everybody will be here for that. That's a free-to-play game, so if you do want to play with us, you're more than welcome to just download it, get ready for it, and then we can play that tomorrow. You don't need to pay for anything in order to play the game. Next week, I think I'll actually put it on the docket. Next week, we are going to start Devil May Cry 5. That should be on Monday, as long as everything is okay and nothing dramatic comes up. Next Monday we should be starting Devil May Cry 5. So hopefully everybody will be here for that and we can enjoy that. I've played the original 1, I've played the original 2. I really had no interest in going back and playing any of the other games. 5 is the one that everybody says was the good game. It's the one that I would like mostly. So we're gonna do Devil May Cry 5. You guys can fill me in on any story bits that I might be missing. But yeah, that's gonna be next week. And then next week, Thursday, I believe the NES tournament game comes out. So I'm going to be picking that up Thursday afternoon. I have it pre-ordered at Best Buy, so I'm going to go pick up my Best Buy copy. Friday, we'll probably check that out. We'll probably check out the NES tournament game. And they're also they're re-releasing Daisy Amiibo. So I'm going to buy the Daisy Amiibo. Oh, the game fills you in for backstory. Yeah. So that's going to be next week. We're going to start that on Monday. It has a story so far you could watch before the stream. No, I would watch it on the stream. I think it's about an hour for all the games. Oh, it's like an hour long story so far. Do I want to watch that on stream? That's a lot to watch on stream. I think I might watch that off stream then. Yeah, they are doing the Daisy Amiibo, the Smash Bros one. I do want the Mario Party one eventually, but they're doing the Smash Bros Daisy Amiibo, so I already pre-ordered that. So I'm gonna pick that up on Thursday along with my NES tournament game. It's 4 games. It's 4 games. It's recapping, but depending on what the recap is, those games weren't particularly long either. So I mean, I feel like the recap could be 5 minutes. You know what I mean? All right, but. That is going to do it for today. So like I said, tomorrow Rocket League, Monday Devil May Cry 5. So hopefully everybody will be here for that. For right now, I'm going to send you over to Fushi. Miss Fushi is playing Starfy. She's playing the first Starfy game. It looks like she's just further ahead than where we were. So hopefully everybody will stick around after the credits so I can send you to hang out over there. But thank you. Hang on 1 second here. What the heck? Hang on. Okay. But thank you once again, everybody, for stopping in, for hanging out. Don't forget to drink your mask, wear your water, social distance whenever possible. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other. And I will see you all tomorrow for Rocket League.